Hey guys, welcome back to another one. So in this one I'm going to be talking about Boys season 5 episode 4. So the name of this episode is Though the Heavens Fall. So basically in law it said that let there be justice though the heavens fall, meaning like even if it hurts the upper class top of the top people, you know there should be justice. It shouldn't be biased or anything like that, but we all know that's not true. So yeah, but I mean at least there is a saying, and I guess we see that through the episode as well, because we see Firecracker turning a bit against Homelander. Anyways, so I'll go through the episode, what happens and what I feel like it. So yeah, let's get started. I will cover anything that I think might help in the next episode, or just in general. So yeah, let's get into it. So the episode starts with Homelander looking at Rand's picture with him and smiling at it, which is weirdly fatherly of him to do after beating his son to pulp. I guess he still cares about Rand, not that much. I mean, he would kill him if he comes against him again, but I guess he did let him live because he was his son. So yeah, we see that happening, and even in the third season, Homelander, checked up on Ryan as soon as he got hurt. So he maybe cares a little bit about him, but we don't know that he's a psycho. He will turn on anyone in a second. So yeah, that happens. Then Firecracker comes in. Homelander assigns her that you are responsible for promoting me to the shareholders and the people as a god, not like Jesus or anything. God, like I am the guy who created everything. I was the one who said let there be light, and then there was light. I am that guy. You are there to promote that. Promote me as that guy. And he actually believes that the Madeline vision that he had, it was actually real. I mean, come on, dude. Like, seriously, you believe that shit, but you can't believe that people hate you because you kill them. All right, fair is fair. So that happens. Now we see that Firecracker is not fully on board. She knows that he is not there completely mentally, but she can't say anything. So she just says, "Yeah, great idea, boss. I'll get right at it." So that happens. Then we are shown that Ryan is with Butcher now. He's there with him having a fatherly moment, but you know, Ryan asked that you never cared about me or something like that. And now here Butcher should have said, no, it's nothing like that. It was the heat of the moment or whatever. He just sits there quietly and, oi, I'll bring you some water. I will never do that again. That was horrible. But yeah, basically, oi, oi, oi. He does his common thing, and basically he leaves to get water for him. But Ryan has already left. We are told that they shared some good time back when he used to go and meet him at, I think when he was with Mallory. So yeah, they talk about Star Wars a little, and that happens. Now, what I love about this show is how they deliver their dialogue. Like, I love how, whatever William Butcher says, I just find it funny. I mean, even if he's saying the most serious things, the way he says it, hilarious. Then Soldier Boy, I know he's a horrible guy. He says really bad stuff. But again, the way he delivers those dialogues, it's very funny. And Jack Quaid, the Huey actor, he's a comedian, so he's mostly on point with the comedy as well. All these characters are pretty good with their lines. So I really love that. Then we see that Ryan has already left when Butcher went to get some water. So here's just a theory. I think Butcher might kill Ryan according to the statements made by Robert Kirkman, because he said a lot of people will not like the ending, and we already see that Butcher does not really care about Ryan anymore. The cancer has completely overtaken his mind, and I think he will kill Ryan if he needs to. You know, see, I think like Ryan will be when they have defeated Homelander, and Ryan will be like, okay, I think we should put him in cryo sleep, or just somewhere else. Not kill him because he is his father, and we have seen that way he is with Butcher as well. Even though they are horrible, they are his father, and come on, who would say, all right, let's kill my father? So he might get in the way, and I think Butcher maybe try to kill him or even kill him, and that's what makes Butcher, establishes him as completely villainous with no redeeming qualities left. But that's just what I think might happen. Maybe nothing like this happens, and I look stupid. But anyways, who cares? So yeah. Then we are shown that Ryan knows what's right from wrong. He did go to Homelander and confronted him about what happened. So yeah, let's see what happens. Then we move on to getting into his OG outfit. The leather jacket, gold chains, and all that stuff. How he used to be in the first few seasons. So that was quite cool. Then we see Frenchie is a bit, overprotective, or I don't know, but he basically does not enjoy when Kimiko talks to other people. So I mean, him, Kimiko and Huey had a moment where he was like, Starlight left, and she hugs him to comfort him. And Frenchie is like, what happened there? What was that about? So, which will lead to their, inevitable breakup at the end of this episode. But yeah, let's get going. So we are introduced with Starlight's side plot in this episode, which not a huge fan of. Like, we have not been shown his father. I mean, they have talked about him, but we never have been shown him to introduce him in the fifth season, where his role is to just, go and say that, oh, you should keep your loved ones close. Come on. What revelation was that, Shock, big shock, like, don't abandon your loved ones. Crazy. Who would have thought about that, huh? But yeah, basically he encourages her to go back to her, and the whole thing about teenagers believing whatever they see on TikTok or reels and stuff like that. That sees something, says something. Ad was working because he did call in the police. Luckily, it was his friend and his dad's friend, so he didn't do anything about it. But yeah, come on, if I was Starlight, I would like, not just be like, oh, 30 years of, what was it? Grounded you are for 30 years. I mean, come on. He outed you. Take it seriously. This dude can be a threat to the family, He's that influenced by it. But, anyways, who am I to judge? So, yeah. Basically, that's the whole side plot of Starlight. This happens whenever they cut to Star. Now I have to wait for like 5 more minutes to get back to what's actually happening in the main story. I mean, every show has their own side plots, but I mean they lead up to the main plot in some way. It was just like a way to bring Annie back because, and if they had to bring her back, why did she leave in the last episode? And if they had to bring her back, why not at somewhat more crucial time, when they are in a fight and Annie gets there just in time? That would have been better. But they just did it for, I don't know, introducing her father. Yeah, that happens. Then we are shown that Homelander is ready to leave for Fort Harmony to get that V1, and we see that Sage is pitting Soldier Boy against Homelander because she already knows that he has gone out of control. He has gone totally insane thinking that he's God, and if he actually gets the one, he would be completely unstoppable. And that does not align with Sage's plan, whatever it is. Because earlier it was with, Godolkin to maybe control Homelander. But as he goes batshit crazy and starts killing the student, he dies. So her plan fails that time. And now that Homelander has gone crazy as well. She does not want him to have that V1. So, she pits Homelanders against him because she knows that Soldier Boy does not like Homelander that much, and he would try to stop him, and probably the only one who could stop him. So, yeah, that's the smart play from Sage. Then we see that Deep and Noir are having some issues because in the last episode we see that Deep, uh, takes all the credit by knocking out the Black Noir. So they firstly, you know, killed all those theories where they're like, oh, Ran could be Black Noir, it could be Homelander's clone, it could be someone else. But it was just the guy going full method, and Deep was really pissed about it, and that's why. So basically, they have a fight which may come in later. You know, maybe they don't coordinate that well. Maybe when they are assigned with hunting the boys, they get involved in their own stuff, like it happened in the previous season. So yeah, that can happen. Then we are shown that Deep is eating sushi, which is, I don't know, is that cannibalism? But not really. He can just talk to them, but come on, why? How could you eat something you can talk to? But anyways, yeah. Basically, we are shown that Deep is losing the last bit of moral that he had. Now he's just like totally involved in whatever Homelander says I do, whatever I have to do to keep my spot in the seven. He has no morals left. He has completely gone down the bootlicker path, I would say. So yeah, that happens. Then we see Ashley and Oh Father doing some crazy stuff, which I will not get into because this is YouTube. And yeah, but yeah, they're doing madness out there, and he knows that Ashley has that second Ashley on the back of her head, and she informs him that the church is having some serious losses and they need to rebrand, which later connects with Homelander wanting to become God. So I guess that problem solved itself. Then we see writers finally acknowledging Huey's sexual assault in the previous season. Like earlier it was just, oh, ha, 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 that was funny, that happened, and they move on. But and they actually gave Jack Quaid a line this season. They said like he was assaulted by shapeshifter, and Starlight made it all about herself, which is kind of true because how could he have known the shapeshifter had all the memories and looked just like her, and instead of giving him any sympathy, she was pissed at him. But yeah, I guess that's that. And we see that everyone's turning on each other over the smallest things, that basically the mind stone stuff happening all over here. But due to this Quill guy or Quinn guy, I guess, and then we are shifted again to the fictional writer meeting for God depiction of Homelander. That what should be the plan of action to make him establish him as the new God. Do we throw out the old religion as a myth and just say that he's new God because he can do anything, or what shall be the plan of action? And the actual writer suggests a lot of stuff, but he's just like, all right, dude, shut up, shut up. You messed up that one time, so we are not going to take any opinion from you. Let's hear from the guy or girl who's paying us the money. So yeah, what do you think? Oh, I think we should do this. And stupid ideas going all around. And then Firecracker goes on and says, you know what Jesus preached? It's so old fashioned. And she knows that what they are doing is completely opposite to Jesus' teaching, whatever they might be, like love your neighbors and everything like that. And they are doing completely opposite stuff. So they are like, you know what, we need to rebrand God, let's make it more American, let's make him anti-immigration, racially superior and stuff like that, which Homelander is. Basically, Homelander cares about himself. So yeah, you know, maybe Homelander is a politician. I don't know. Is the writer trying to draw some parallels to the real world? That can't be true, can it? Anyways, let's move on. Then we move on to Soldier Boy and Homelander walking to Fort Harmony. Like again, he's Homelander says, "I could have flown you out there," but Soldier Boy is like, "You're not taking me anywhere. We are walking," which is quite a lot like Batman and Superman. Or not just that, a lot of heroes are like this who can't fly, and they think that it's childish to be carried by someone like that. So yeah, that happens. Then we see Soldier Boy and Homelander talking about Stormfront again. Weird topic to get into. Basically, uh, they are actually father and son and share a lot of same interests. I will stop there. Anyways, moving on. We see the Mind Stone taking effect. Basically, the Quinn guy doing whatever thing that makes people angry, people saying stuff about each other that they mean but have not said yet because they were being nice or whatever. That happened. Then we are shown that the V1 was there, but it was taken by Bombsight. So Bombsight is a member from the original team of Soldier Boy, uh, which was called Payback. So he was one of the few members who survived the V1, and taking extra V1, we don't know why that might be, but basically they deduced that the only guy with that much power and need for heroin is of that bomb site. So yeah, then we are told that Mother's Milk and Butcher wants to, just burn that V1 whatever is left, and Huey wants to give it to Kimiko and Starlight, and if Butcher, if he needs it, and same with Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy needs to destroy it, and Homelander wants to get that. So the teams are divided. They might, join in even. Who knows? Because Soldier Boy had worked with Butcher even though he does not like him that much. But it's possible it might happen. Then we see Homelander and Butcher having a conversation. So here the power shifts from Butcher to Homelander. So Butcher starts with, "Oh, Daddy put you in timeout," or "It's so sad, lost your power," and stuff like that. He's taunting Homelander, and then Homelander realizes that if he's here, why is he not, just using the virus upfront? Because that's what he's been trying to do and not releasing the virus. So he's like, "You don't have the virus." And you know, Butcher tries to hide it by saying, "Don't I?" And Homelander sees right through it and says, "If you would have the virus, I would be dead by now." So yeah, that happens. We see Soldier Boy killing Quinn and everything turns back to normal, which is a little stupid because, as we have seen in the let's say finale of season 3 or even the Herogasm episode, when Soldier Boy explodes, it's a huge blast, and Frenchie just let me get out of the way and basically just moves over to this side. Come on, like the blast should be, powerful enough to level the room at least. But yeah, I guess they just took the liberty of making Frenchie invulnerable. So yeah, that happened. Then we see that Soldier Boy is grieving a lot. So here we are shown that he's not actually all about guts and glories. He was just a rich kid who wanted to enroll in this program because he was kind of jealous because his brother was, actually very good, which kind of makes sense because if someone that close to you is so overachieving and you are basically nothing, so you see that everyone loves them, but they're like, yeah, you are his brother, right? You don't have your own identity. So I guess due to that reason, Soldier Boy enrolled in the program and took the V, and Quinn thought of him like he's just some rich baby who got to cut the line. So yeah, that's why Quinn didn't like him and Soldier Boy killed him and now he's regretting it. I don't think Soldier Boy is, a horrible human per se, because I mean compared to the other characters, he's just, yeah, I mean he is obviously a little racist and all that stuff, but even in the third season, we see that he says that I'm not a bad guy. I didn't want to kill anyone. I just blacked out and the damage was done. So I think he tries to do some good, you know, but he's not that bad. Uh, More like I don't know, a Captain America if he was actually from the 1940s. But yeah, uh, I kind of like that character. So basically, yeah, he's so very sad, and when Homelander comes, he's like, "All right, dude, just kill me, get it over there. No need to, be beat around the bush and stuff. Just do it." So when Homelander sees that, he's just like, "No, I won't do it." I think that might be because you know he's seen that his father was crying and now he doesn't want to do it, or maybe just because of the fact that he's such a psychopath, he doesn't want to give that joy to Soldier Boy. But yeah, that happens, and then everyone gets back. We see Frenchie and Kimiko breaking up as their honeymoon phase ends because you know they were just going too fast, and I think they could have, handled it better, but in the end, they both wanted different things and couldn't have possibly stayed together. And I guess Kimiko and Frenchie's relation really developed because he was the only one who could understand what she was trying to say. But now that she can speak, she does not really need to be with Frenchie anymore. And yeah, they break up. Starlight comes back to Huey, and everyone gets a happy ending. And now Butcher and MM is watching some Soldier Boy's old clips because I don't know, God knows why. Maybe they are trying to find some new plot device, that can hurt the soups, which hasn't been discovered in the previous four seasons. So yeah, he has shown that Firecracker might be turning on Homelander because Ashley reads her mind and she's like, no shit, I know she's lying. She doesn't actually believe in Homelander. We see her hesitating as well. So I guess this is what they mean by though the heavens fall. Basically, that though it pisses Homelander off, we need to, get on a single front and just say, no, man, you can't just keep getting away with this. Firecracker is going against him. Even Siege is against him. Soldier Boy kind of hates him. Uh, Noir is just Noir. Beef, although he's sucking Homelander off, but he's not getting the recognition he wants. So he might be turning on to him. So I guess the six will turn on to Homelander. Six, I mean five actually. It's six including Homelander. So yeah, they might turn on to Homelander later on, but we don't know that. This episode was like, all right. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but yeah, they could have done it better. Basically, last episode, last few were great, but this was like, a filler episode. It's not that bad. Maybe when you watch it in one go, you won't even feel it like, oh, all right. But honestly, what happened in this episode is they went to Fort Harmony. They realized that there was this bomber guy who took the V1, and yeah, that's it. Starlight is back, and French and Kimiko broke up. So the plot was basically 2 lines long, but yeah, they stretched it into an episode. But I guess that makes sense because I don't know, uh, big production company wanting to make more money, capitalism and whatnot, I guess. So yeah, that's it for this one. The next one I will be recording is Invincible episode season 4. So tune in for that, I guess. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.